Guys, welcome to our channel. And today we have Farad with us. Hi, Farad.
Hey, Sadiq, hi.
Hi. So our year has almost finished, and as expected, we are now discussing some of the best Malayalam films of the year. And I must say, like always, because I've been following Malayalam films for the last 5, 6 years now, and as always, Malayalam films have produced gems after gems after gems. But I think for the last 1 or 2 years, I think specifically during the lockdown or since the lockdown, we have seen some extraordinary films from the Malayalam film industry. I mean, I never expected the bar to be raised so much high. So this is one of the main reasons why we are now discussing Malayalam films of the year, and to even to specify a few films is injustice, and it really at times saddens me that we have to select a few because there was such a long list of amazing Malayalam films. But we have to be a bit specific and have to discuss the best of the best because they were the best films and we have to select the best from the best. So that's a headache for us. But still, me and Farad will try our level best to discuss about probably some of the finest movies we have seen this year from the Malayalam film or maybe the Indian film industry. So I think let's start. So I'll start with you, Farad. So which film would you first love to go with?
Before we start, Sadiq, I think all the movies that we are going to be discussing, I think all the detailed reviews you will find on my side, popcorn reviews. The link you can leave it in your description box. And what a year it has been for Malayalam films. I mean, it has been a year in which all of us during the lockdown have discovered the brilliance of Malayalam cinema. I think it was already there, only waiting to be discovered.
Hmm.
So this year, finally, I think this is the most number of films for any language that I've watched this year is Malayalam. I think I've watched the most Malayalam films this year,
Same,
followed by other languages.
same.
So I don't think that has ever happened. And Hindi films, I haven't seen many. I mean, whatever is out, I've seen, but there haven't been many that have released anyway.
Yes.
So the count is a little less there as compared to what they used to, shell out. So coming back to a list, I think Sadiq, what you can do, we'll alternate
Okay.
one each.
Okay.
So I'll pick one and then you pick one and then you throw it back to me. So that way
Yeah.
we cover a larger range and without
Yeah.
overlapping. You know.
Yeah.
So
It's better to rather to rank or something. It's better to have more of an organic discussion, I believe.
yeah. And and we run the risk of not including a few films also if we are ranking.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Exactly.
So,
So yeah.
yeah, so let's get going then, Sadiq. So, and this is in no particular order. These
Yeah.
are just the Malayalam films that we love this
Yeah.
year.
Yes.
So, first, no prizes for guessing. I think many people who I think I'm a little familiar face on your channel now,
Yeah.
and people know now that my love for Nayat 2 is something else. So,
Absolutely.
the first pick for me has to be Nayat 2 for the year. I remember watching it during the second. It was on the onset, just the start of the second lockdown that was going on, and I watched
Yeah.
it on Netflix, and I remember messaging you and the others in a WhatsApp group, to
Yes.
watch it immediately, drop everything and watch it. So I think Nayat 2 for me, I think is one of the finest, most hard-hitting crime thrillers of the year, be it Malayalam or any language. And have rated it very highly this year. So it's Nayat 2 for me, number one pick.
Yes, amazing. So for me now, and from the start of the year, I mean, I have to pick a film that I think it's very difficult to emulate such film. I mean, throughout the year, I was trying to find out if any films even can you emulate this, but this film released at the start of the year. I think it's probably the finest, and what I've discussed with other film fans, so they've also said that this is probably the best Malayalam film or maybe the best Indian film of the year. So for me, it's The Great Indian Kitchen, directed by Geo Baby, and it's probably the finest film of the year. I mean, what intelligent direction, what smart direction, what smart screenplay, what excellent acting. I mean, it never felt like I'm watching a movie. This is the best thing about the Malayalam film industry, that they try to be as realistic as I always use this word, but organic and as natural as they try to be. So this is the best thing about the Great Indian Kitchen, and this is how they've shown the patriarchy and how it is difficult for women and even at times for the husband to adjust in that married life, and how the system is created in a manner that it becomes a duty of the woman to adjust in a family. So heads off to the team that has made the movie, and specifically heads off to Nimisha Sajayan. I mean, I've become a fan of this lady because I think this is the first movie I saw of her. Then I think she was in Nattu and Malik also, right? With Fahad Fazil. So it's amazing film for her. So I've seen around three films of her this year, and maybe more of her, but amazing. What an amazing actress. She can pull off any role with ease. And she's such a young lady. So long way to go for her. So now again to you, Farad. Which film will you discuss now?
So I think this was also the year in which I think we discovered the phenomena of Fahad Fazil,
Hmm.
and it. I think Irul was a little on the lower side, but then the one that followed, I think it was Georgie,
Suji,
which
yeah.
for me was an exceptional adaptation of Macbeth. It was so dark, it was witty,
Yeah.
and it used the COVID scenario so well. I mean, in the narrative as well,
Yeah. Yeah.
it adapted to the current times, and the cinematography, the sound design. I think it was excellent. It was one of the more memorable adaptations of Macbeth, and one of the few that I've enjoyed. I think after Maqbool. Maqbool, I think, was a phenomenal uh, adaptation as well. But this, I think, was also equally phenomenal with the Fahad Fazil in excellent form. I think this was he's done a few films, but I think this one, I think, is the performance of the year for me as far as Malayalam films is concerned. If I have to pick one performance, I think it would be the Georgie one, Fahad Fazil one. So it is Georgie for
Amazing.
me.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes. So again, for me now, so the film that I was very excited to watch this year, and to an extent, it did meet my expectations because the first part of this film was really good, exceptional, probably the finest thrillers I've ever seen. So now we'll discuss about Drishyam 2, which is directed by Jitu Joseph and starring the our legendary Mohanlal Lalit, which we term him. So again, Mohanlal carried the film on his shoulders with I can say absolute
Yes,
ease. Absolute ease. I mean, for him to pull off any role, it looks so easy for at least from a viewer's perspective. Maybe it's difficult for him, but he's so convincing with all of his performance. So and again, Drishyam one was in my mind. It was moving around in my mind, and I did watch the film, the original one, because it has been remade in three, four languages. But before watching Drishyam 2, so to recall what happened, so I did watch it. And then I watched it again when the day it was released on Amazon Prime. And man, I was blown away. Really good. Though I expected it to be better than the first one, but I think it was at least on par with the first one. And and yes, it is difficult to make sequels that are that good, but for me it was excellent, and full credit to Jitu Joseph for making such an amazing film. And the star cast, the supporting actors were equally good. So yeah, for me it's Drishyam 2, which is one of the funnest films of the year. So now what do you think?
another so another pick that I would like to take, it would be Drishyam 2, but in another universe. The movie that I'm referring to is Arcarium. That again was so subtle, I think,
Yeah.
in its storytelling technique. Again, use COVID and the surroundings to its use,
Yeah.
and the twist at the halfway mark. I mean, that was I did not see that coming. I
Yeah.
mean, it all of a sudden shifted genres and still maintained that thread. It
Yeah.
didn't seem like what happened, and it just switched. It wasn't like that. It kept
Yeah.
that thread intact
Huh.
even in the second hour. So for me, it's Arcarium at number three. Of course, not. I wouldn't say number three, but my third pick would be Arcarium. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Exceptional film. You should totally watch that.
Definitely, definitely. So now, coming to myself, one of the films that really shocked me or surprised me, which I have to include, and it's Kala. I mean, this is probably the first film I've seen of Tovino Thomas, and I was blown away by his performance because I've never seen any film of his, and that guy stood up throughout the film. I mean, he was given the lead role, and it was a tough film because it was a very different and unconventional action film. Because again, it was very realistic and very raw. It was very brutal, but he literally lived up to the expectations. And full credit to the director Rohit VS. I mean, in the manner in which he did all the work. I mean, he supervised all the work, like the editing, like the screenplay, like the cinematography. I think the toughest part of the film was the cinematography, and it was done in an amazing and an exceptional manner. And also to the other star cast, like including Sumesh Moore and Lal and Divya Pillai, they did an amazing job. So for me, Kala was probably one of the key highlights of the year for the Malayalam film industry, that took the industry to a next level. Amazing film. So now what is that?
So yeah. So my next pick, I think, would be probably if there was this one film that would represent India at the world stage. I think that film would be Churuli this year. Churuli was, I mean, such an abstract film, but truly international level. I haven't, all with all due respect, all other films, because I have been following a bit of international cinema as well. I think this one stood up to the occasion. It is directed by Lijo Jose Pellicer, who had earlier directed Angamali Diaries and
Imayo.
which one was the other?
Imayo.
Mayo, and also Jallikattu.
Jallikattu, yeah.
Um, this was truly a magnificent, immersive experience, which had so many layers to it. Each viewing would unlock a different path, and
Yeah.
there's so many interpretations to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching it on a train journey at night, and it just added to the ambience beautifully. For me, I think Churuli, even the sound design, excellent, cinematography, magnificent. I think this was one film that uh, would make India proud at an international stage, and it was so honored to witness such a film coming from India. And I'm not calling it a Malayalam film, I'm calling it an Indian film. That much I have enjoyed Churuli. So my fourth pick is Churuli this year.
Yeah. So for now, for me, another film that I would like to pick, and it just came at the penultimate time, or maybe the climax of the year. So which I would like to pick is Minal Murli, because Minal Murli was something which we rarely expect from from subcontinent perspective, because we see these superhero films maybe from the Hollywood, maybe from Korean cinema, maybe from other parts of the world, but we rarely see top-notch and unconventional superhero films. And Minal Murli is one of those films that that has raised the bar, or either raised the bar or has created a specific benchmark for itself, because it's a totally different film, because I never expected a superhero film coming in more of a unprivileged or a village area setting. And the villain of the film was, the antagonist of the film was equally good. So it's again very rare to the superhero at times being you can say overpowered by the antagonist. So it's an amazing film, and heads off to the team, and especially Basil Joseph with an amazing and creative thought process that he's illustrated on the screen. And again, Tomina Thomas, amazing film.
Ab-
So yeah,
Absolutely.
now again to you for that.
So next pick for me would be again, which had come at the climax of the year. The film we discussed it in your last podcast also, which is Maduram. I think you should watch that
Yeah,
video, the discussion that we've done as well on Sadik's channel.
yeah,
Maduram, as the name is so sweet, it is filled with that divine sweetness, as
yeah,
I said there. and it has so many emotions, and it's so organic. One thing which is consistent in all Malayalam films, mostly that I've watched this year, is that it is so organic. You don't
Yeah.
feel anything out of place,
Yeah.
or cliched. It just is free flowing. It's like daily lives that we are making it so relatable. So Maduram was one such film which is available on Sony Live. One of my favorite films this year, along with Night 2. I recommend you all watch it. I don't want to give too much away because I think it is just released. So that's
Yeah.
why, without revealing too much of it, I think you should totally watch that, and that is my next pick. Yes.
Great, great. So now, for me, another film that I really liked, and which was again a very different type of comedy film. So that was Thinkalacha Nischam. I mean, really, I didn't expect a comedy film to be that good. I mean, it was, such a clean comedy because it has been so difficult over the last, you can say, 5, 10 years. I mean, especially for our generation, to get some high quality, clean comedy films because there are some vulgar jokes and punchline in comedy movies, which were rare in the last, maybe in those bygone eras in 80s or 90s or even the 70s. But to make such amazing comedy films and to be very have a smart script and a smart, you can say, dialogues. It was really good because even though I'm not a Malayali speaker, but when I was watching it and when I discussed it with a few people who are Malayali speaker themselves, so even they said yes, it's a really good and clean comedy, and even the reviewers really loved it. So yes, one of the,
And it is,
yeah.
yeah, and just a small trivia for that movie, that it is comprises of all newcomers
Yeah,
also.
all newcomers, yes, exactly. So
So I think
amazing.
the last time that I witnessed such a film was Angamali Diaries for me.
And Mumbai, yes.
Everyone was new in that,
Yes.
except the director. Everyone was new. So yeah, so I love your
Sena
film.
Sena Hegde, I guess, na?
Signite. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
Amazing. Great film. So yeah, now
So
we're talking.
my next pick would be Kane Kane on Sony Live. That which it stars Suraj Venjaramudu, and so I feel that I think it even had Tovino Thomas.
Robin Thomas, yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It did have Tovino Thomas as well. I think it was such a brilliant portrayal by Suraj Venjaramudu, and many people that time had recommended watching Android Kunjappan of Suraj Vendramudu simply because he was playing an old character in that film as well. When we were
Yeah.
praising him for his old age
Yeah.
portrayal here, so I watched that after Kane Kane, and I think it was such a fabulous actor. I mean, amazing with the mannerisms, the body language, and such a layered and nuanced uh, story that was, and it again felt so organic, so conflicted, you know. Uh, I think it was one of the underrated gems this year. I don't think many people have watched it, to be honest. It hasn't got that much credit, which is why it is in my list as well for one of the films that I love this year in Malayalam.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. So again, the film that I want to discuss now is Kuruthi. I mean, Kuruthi was probably one of the finest and most probably one of the most thought-provoking films of the year. So Kuruthi, Prithviraj, he stood out. I mean, he overshadowed all the supporting cast members, including Roshan Matthew and many others. So it was an excellent film, and I was really really blown away by this film. Sorry. So it's an
Prithviraj Sita.
yeah, Prithviraj. Yeah. So Prithviraj and Roshan Matthew and the supporting actors were really good. And the manner in which it shows about hatred and how hatred runs not only from an individual but it carries forward to generations and to tribes and to even to countries. So it was an amazing film with an excellent climax. The best part for me was the climax and the narration which goes in the climax. Amazing stuff. Loved it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The bridge one that was there, that it was a metaphor. Amazing. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Um, my next pick, I think, would be the Mammootty Starrer One,
One. Yeah.
which is on Netflix. I think political thrillers are rare to come,
Yeah.
simply because I don't think you can go all out
Yeah.
because of obvious reasons. But I
Yeah.
think keeping that in mind as well, one was pretty interesting, and the interesting part was that in one, Mammootty doesn't arrive, I think, till I think 35 odd minutes into the film, 35-40 minutes into the film, he arrives after that,
Wow.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
remember.
it wasn't about only the protagonist, I think, and it had that nice vibe to it, of what
Yeah.
if we were in an ideal situation,
Yeah.
so I think it was a pretty interesting film. You can watch that on Netflix.
Yeah.
One, I think, would be my pick.
Yeah. Absolutely. And now from my end, so I would like to pick hashtag home, probably one of the finest, and maybe we can say a film which we all needed. I mean, it showed how, family members, that they are so attached to each other, and especially the old age people, they need our guidance and love and our affection and our attention also. So in this age and in this generation, it has become so difficult to, to keep up and to, bridge that generational gap that we all have. So this film showed that, and I was really happy to see such amazing and such again realistic films coming from the Malayalam industry. And hats off to Indiran to portray such an amazing character with such ease and such conviction. Amazing film. Yeah.
My next pick, Sadik, would be Operation Java, which is on
Yes.
Z5.
Yeah.
I think so. Operation Java was one of the few releases which Z5 did not promote, and it did not anticipate how big the film for them it was. So
Yeah.
it had released without subtitles, and I think there were many people then who were actually tagging them on Twitter, because there were no subtitles available. And finally, Z5 had to incorporate that subtitles, and after the weekend. So it was Monday when they incorporated, and Tuesdays when I saw it. Is one of the most fast-paced and fun movies, thrillers that and again underappreciated. I feel this year.
Yeah.
It also shows, the how the people who are having temporary jobs, with meager salaries, how they are, especially in the police department, they are handling themselves and what pressures they go through. I think it was quite an enjoyable film, and quite an underrated one as well. So I think it would be Operation Java for me next week.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And now for me, to almost wrap up our discussion, the film that really haunted me at times, disturbed me. So I have to go with it because amazing film making it was. So I'm going with Biryani. So Biryani was again, you
Oh
recommended that movie, and I really remember that I had to include that in my discussion. So hats off to
my
Sajan, yeah, Sajan Babu, the director, for portraying such a disturbing concept with such in such a convincing manner, and to do it in a manner which is haunting also. He never cared about what the audience may feel, because I think this film was finding it difficult to be shown in the cinemas, because this is one of the main reasons why it was shown on the OTT platforms, and many big OTT platforms were not even convinced
yeah.
to get it. So I think it was released on which OTT platform, I forgot.
Cave India,
Cave
Cave India.
India. Yeah, imagine. So it never even got a big OTT release. But I'm glad I was able to watch it, and hats off to the entire team, and Kani Kustruti playing the role of Khatija. I mean the lead portrayal. She carried the film with full aplomb, and it was a very difficult role, but she was very convincing until the end. She was there. So yeah, amazing film, and I would really recommend everyone to watch it, but please watch it with a heavy heart. I mean, you have to be very, mentally
Be
prepared to watch it.
mentally prepared.
Yeah, it's a very, very,
Exactly.
very, you can say, heavy and very haunting and disturbing movie. So yeah, that's it from my end.
So, so I have three more films, Sadik, if I can
Sure.
just
Yeah,
quickly go through them.
we can
So one is,
well, we can count them as honorable mentions.
we can count them as honorable mentions. So one is Santhosh Rahasyam.
Yeah,
So that is actually available on Mubi. It was originally available on Niche Stream. Why this film is special? Because it is a 90-minute one take film. It is a one take film that is there by Don Palatha, I
ah,
think is the director, and it just comprises of two or three characters, and
yeah,
they are in the frame all along,
yeah,
and it's a 90-minute one take film again is what I'm saying, or at least it seems it's like one take due to some perfect editing. I don't know,
ah,
but I think you should totally watch that if you are in for some experimental film. It's a conversational film basically.
yeah,
It doesn't have any other setting. It is just one angle camera in a car, conversational. That is it. If you like enjoy, if you enjoy experimental films, then I think this is the one that you should totally watch. Santosh Inte Rahasyam.
sorry.
Another one, I think is Sunny. I really like Sunny on Amazon Prime. I think we've also discussed this, Sadik, in a podcast.
Yeah,
Again, it had COVID as the setting. It had the first lockdown as the setting, in which how a person who also has a troubled personal life and undergoing, lockdown, what he goes through. I think it was a interesting slow burner that was there,
sorry.
and I quite liked it. I mean, people did have mixed reactions for that, but I quite enjoyed that. It was pretty interesting and pretty tricky as pretty relevant as well.
Excellent.
The last one that I remember is the recently released Malayalam film on Netflix called Kurup.
Group, yeah.
Uh, uh, Dulka Salman. Sadik, you want to talk about that? You watched that as well.
Yeah, yeah, Kurup. So yeah, Kurup was an excellent film, and the manner in which it showed the realistic scenario, I was really impressed with it. But even though the film, from a few, you can say audience, it has received some negative reviews, but I personally liked it, and I liked specifically Dulquer's performance throughout the film. You know how he transforms or how he transitions from a man who is admitted in the in the armed forces or the police academy. He's there. I mean, it's he's there, and how he transforms to suddenly to a killer. I mean, and a killer which the all the you can say police or the intelligence agencies, they are after, but they are unable to find him. So it's an excellent film which I really loved. And Farad, again, thank you for recommending that film that you recommended us at at the overnight, and we were able to discuss it at the very next day. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks again.
You want to also mention about Sarah? Sarah,
Oh
you
yes,
wanted to
yes,
mention?
yes, yes. I really forgot about that film. So Sarah's was a topic which was, I think, which was very important, which should have been discussed. And the film promotes the independence of women. I mean, women are just expected to, I mean, their career, they can pursue their career. I mean, they are not really stopped from it, but there comes a stage in their life where they are expected to get married and have kids. You know, but Sarah didn't want that. Sarah was focused on her career, and it showed that how we as males, we are blessed that we don't have to go through the pain of, the laborious pain of childbirth and all, and how it affects. It doesn't really affect our career, but it does for an ambitious individual or a woman. I mean, the manner in which it showed. So I was really happy to see such amazing film. So yeah, one of the finest movies, but it could have been much better. So the only issue for me was the screenplay. Was at times very boring, but overall an
I
excellent
agree.
concept. Excellent concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is pretty much it.
yeah,
I think, Sadik. Or do
yeah,
we
yeah.
remember any other? There might
No,
still be so many that we are
maybe,
missing, or
maybe, yeah,
so
yeah,
this is, by the way, best of the best. Okay,
yeah,
so we have probably watched even some more,
yeah,
but
Yeah,
it is actually, it was a bit of a headache for
yeah,
both of us, and I can vouch for Sadik as well to to shortlist, you know so out of so many amazing Malayalam films, I think this year probably I've just not liked three of them, which is an amazing success rate. I've just not liked three out of so many films. I think over 30 films, I don't know, maybe.
yeah, maybe, yeah,
So,
yeah,
so the ratio is like what, above 90%. So it's
yeah,
been an amazing, amazing year for Malayalam cinema,
yeah,
and I cannot wait for 2022. I think there's one more that is coming up, which is Bro Daddy, which has Mohanlal and Prithviraj, directed by Prithviraj. I think that's a
yeah,
direct OTT release.
yeah,
So that's going to be fun. I think it's coming out in Jan. So
yeah,
it's going to be a great start as well. I
yeah,
hope it's going to be cross.
yeah,
Let's not
hopefully.
get too carried away, but 2021 for the moment, I think has
Yes,
been brilliant for Malayalam cinema.
for sure,
And
for sure.
all the reviews you can find on my site, Popcorn
Yeah,
Reviews. Who would like a detailed review of each of the films that we discuss. I think all of them you would find on my website.
yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
so
Yeah.
Sadik, you want to wrap up?
Yes, so again, thanks again, Farad, for joining and coming to our channel, and thank you all for listening to us. And again, I would like to please request you all to please like, share, and subscribe our channel. And you can also give your valuable suggestions and feedback in the comment section below. So again, Farad, for I would like to thank you again for being so consistent and coming to our channel. And guys, I would like to, if you want to
It's a
read
pleasure.
some, yeah, and I would like you to please, if you want to read some quality content regarding movie reviews, Farad's website, Popcorn Reviews, is there. You can find all the latest reviews of probably all the films from, the global cinema at his website, and it's available. So I would request you all to, if you're interested, to please check his website. And thank you all again. So take care and love.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
I
also. Yeah.
think
Yeah. Thank you all.
uh,